This is an absolute free ride tank of a bike. This is a 2011 Rocky Mountain Slayer 30. And so stock, this bike pushes 165 millimeters of rear wheel travel with a very aggressive leverage ratio and 160 millimeters front via a RockShox Domain R fork. And because this bike is a 2011, I'm not near old enough to have sourced this bike back in the day. This bike used to be my dad's. I mean, my dad took this all over the place. He took this to Blue, Needham, Graham. He even took this to Mountain Creek a couple times. This thing's seen some abuse. It's pretty much been never serviced its whole life. I started doing some service on it. I rebuilt that Fox RP2, and it is just garbage. The damper's blown in there, so this is just a pogo stick. Bop, bop, bop. It's not usable, so I'm going to replace that. And the only problem here is this is Imperial. So the whole industry shifted to metric, so it's kind of hard to find these, but I already sourced the Fox Float DPS. And yes, I know that's an XC shock, but I mean, this isn't much of an enduro or downhill shock either. I think it'll work perfect if I just add some spacers. This bike does have external cable routing, though it is quite clean. And so for this fork is just dangerous and unpredictable. It sags about till here, and it's just so dangerous. The rebound is just horrible. And so Rocky Mountain even gave this thing a tapered head tube, meaning I can put in a brand new Fox 36. And Rocky Mountain even gave it some sort of dropper routing. I mean, not modern dropper routing, but dropper routing. And so this fork, because only expensive forks at the time had tapered tubes, this is a straight tube RockShox with a adapter for the bearings. So it has a very big crown race to make that up. And so my plans for this bike are definitely the Fox DPS rear shock. I have a Fox 36 Kashima Factory Elite. Nope, that would be a Fox 36 Factory. So many confusing names with the Fox forks these days. And so my plan is to run a 27.5 fork with a 27.5 wheel in the front, 26er wheel in the back, and it's going to be a mini mullet boom. And so that will slacken out the bike. Then I'm going to add a dropper. Hopefully a micro shift advent 1x10. I mean, these SRAM level brakes worked for getting the bike back on the road, but I think I'm going to have to change them out for some Shimano 4 pistons or even downhill brake. So I already started sourcing parts. I'm waiting on a new lower headset bearing so I can use a tapered fork in this tapered head tube because it's set up for a straight tube fork. I have a front wheel on the way, and for the rear wheel, eventually that is going to go tubeless if all goes well, and I'm going to lace up a rear wheel with, I think, a DT Swiss 350 hub and whatever rims on sale are cheap. Something acceptable, though. And for a 2011 bike, this thing was just ahead of its time. I mean, look how thick that frame was. That is just a massive frame. I mean, you can't kill this. So my plan is give it all these parts, which I'll show you guys in a minute, and this thing is going to get taken to Needham and thrashed. These parts I have before you, they might make some people very angry saying I'm wasting money on a bike that doesn't deserve upgrades. I know this isn't going to be the top performer like my Haros or any of our other hardtails. This bike is about taking a classic 26er and making it into a semi-modern monster for Needham. So for a shock, I found this online. This is an Imperial shock, very not common these days. It's a 7.25 by, I believe, 2 point something. So here's our Fox DPS. We are going to pack this thing with spacers to make it tolerate the aggressive linkage of the Slayer. So like I said, this Slayer linkage is just extremely, extremely crazy. After about 3 tries of attempting to repackage this with one hand, we finally did it. But back what I was saying is that the Slayer linkage is extremely, extremely crazy in the sense that the leverage ratio is ridiculous. It's pushing 165 millimeters out of a 57 millimeter stroke. That's just a lot of travel for the stroke. And so if your shock isn't tuned to match it, it will blow through the travel. And here's the fork we are using. So this is a 2023 Fox Factory Kashima with the Grip X2 damper. This is a 27.5 fork with a through quick release axle. And this fork is just amazing. It's beautiful. We got the volume spacers there. We're probably going to need those. We even got a Fox sticker. We got these little bleeder nipples in the back for, I believe, high altitude where your fork pressures may change. And we're going to hopefully repackage this with one hand. And so, yeah, some of you might say I'm wasting money. I'm not trying to build a top performer. I already have my modern bikes for ripping. But this bike is just going to be amazing to see get rebirthed after all of those years. I mean, I'm just glad we ditched those Avid Elixir brakes because those had a tendency to lock up in the day, and, well, when we pulled this bike out of storage, that's exactly what it did. they walked up solid. And so back to the bike, we put the SRAM levels on it. I mean, they're adequate just to get the bike running and seeing that the frame's good and everything. And so I hope as more parts come in, like that lower bearing for the headset and other parts, that by September, my garage should turn into a full-fledged free ride workshop. Not sure the parents are gonna love it though. So like and subscribe to see this swayer become an absolute free ride machine.